is therefore warps transmitted over the line is reduced and voltage across the load is maintained within the specified limits. The voltage drop of the line without shunt capacitor is given by, so the voltage drop is the resistive component plus reactive component, IR into R cos phi plus IR into XL sin pi. This is the equation 1, voltage drop without any shunt capacitor. With shunt capacitor, the same voltage drop can be changed as IR into R cos pi plus IR minus IC into XL sin pi. This is the equation number 2, where IC is the reactive component of current leading the supply voltage by 90 degrees. Already I told that if it is a pure capacitor, the current leads the voltage by 90 degrees. Then the voltage rise due to the location of capacitor is the difference between voltage drops determined by using equation 1 and equation 2. You subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So voltage rise is equal to IC into XL. Therefore, improved power factor due to placing of the shunt capacitor is given by, so this is the improved power factor. This is the improved pi R dash is the improved power factor, which is P by square root of P square plus Q square. Q square in the sense it is the QL minus QC square due to the capacitor installation, so that it has a capacitor reactive power QR. So P divided by P square root of P square plus QL minus QC whole square. So due to the capacitor reactive power, the denominator is reduced, resulting this parameter is to be increased. Yes. So this is the way the capacitor has improved the power factor with the help of the static capacitors. So advantages of shunt capacitors is, so advantages of shunt capacitors point of view. So a shunt capacitor is fixedly connected to the line. So therefore the losses are low and easy installation. And it requires less maintenance because there are no rotating parts. Yes. So all these are to be considered as the advantages of the shunt capacitor. Generally speaking, the maintenance is very less once you are connected into the system. Already we are observing in the fans. Fan has a condenser. Once you connect it to the condenser, unless it has any repair, we are not touching that condenser. So the maintenance is very less because it does not have any rotating parts. And similarly, disadvantages of shunt capacitors are to be considered here. So less service life. Once the capacitor or condenser is to be spoiled, in the sense there is no possibility to service this. Yes? So easily damaged due to excess of voltages, or excessive voltages are to be generated. Obviously, it should be damaged, and its repair is uneconomical. Already we are using number of inverters in our houses. So inverter has a battery. So once the battery has a repair, there is no possibility to service or repair it. It is uneconomical. That's why we purchase a new one. Yes, static capacitor seems to be like this. Yes, and difficult to control switching position of capacitors because of removing or adding the capacitor in the circuit for different power factors. Is so difficult to control. It is a fixed capacitors. So difficult to control switching positions of capacitors because of removing or adding the capacitors in the circuit for different power factors. Yes, and the second one is synchronous condensers. So whatever may be the drawbacks in the static capacitors, those are overcome with the help of the second method, which is the synchronous condensers. So you observe here, synchronous condenser. What is the synchronous condenser? How it is differ with the static capacitors? Is, so you see here, three-phase AC supply. Three-phase AC supply serves the three-phase load. Yes, and in between the source and load, we are connecting a synchronous motor. a synchronous motor, three-phase synchronous motor. Synchronous machine is connected in parallel with the supply and it draws its current. Yes. So a synchronous motor, the general synchronous motor is connected in between source and load. How it can rectify the power factor? How it can improve the power factor? Yes. So how this synchronous motor is known as a synchronous condenser. So let us see one by one here. The synchronous condenser is a synchronous motor running without any mechanical load. Yes. So synchronous motor is generally running without any load, known as a synchronous condenser. A synchronous motor takes a leading current and overexcited and therefore behaves as a capacitor. So synchronous motor has a facility for all the three types of excitation, that is the lagging currents, leading currents, and unity power factor currents. So a synchronous motor takes a leading current when overexcited, therefore it behaves like a capacitor. It is connected in parallel to the supply or load. Connected to the parallel to the supply or load. It generates leading current to neutralize the lagging component of the load current, resulting in improved the power factor. Yes. So it is connected in parallel to the supply or load. It generates leading current to neutralize the lagging component of the load current, resulting in improved power factor. Yes. So when you go for the static capacitors, when you go for the synchronous condensers, so based upon the kVA requirement here. So for lower kVA, static capacitors may be used. For kVA requirement exceeds the more than 1000 kVA, synchronous condensers are preferable and also economical. So power factor can be varied by using synchronous condenser, a stepless, smooth variation of the power factor. The added advantages of ASAP control can be realized. See, low kVAR static capacitors are used. kVAR requirement exceeds 10,000, automatically it is preferable and also economical. So power factor can be vary with a stepless. In the static capacitors, 100 kVAR, a 200 kVAR, a 300 kVAR, like this you are initiating. But this is not like this. It is a rotating system. It is a smooth variation of the power factor is also possible for us. Yes. So let us analyze how it varies the power factor here. Yes. So this is the system initially using a real power P1, reactive power P1, and apparent power S. Apparent power S. So at that time, the angle between P and S is ∅1. Why? Because power factor is also defined as real power by apparent power. Real power by apparent power. Yes. So P1, Q1, S1. Suppose if you connect a condenser, if you connect a synchronous condenser at the load side, so it draws a real power of PS. It draws a real power of PS and injects a reactive power of QR. Injects a reactive power QR. This is a reactive power is leading reactive power. Yes, and this is the apparent power. This is exclusively because of the synchronous condenser. Exclusively because of the synchronous condenser. Yes. And already the circuit having a lagging reactive power of Q1 due to the capacitor installation, the resultant reactive power is reduced to Q1 minus QR. Q1 minus QR. So the net reactive power is Q2. Q2 equal to Q1 minus QR. This is the Phasor diagram. So very simple. In the original system, it P1, Q1, S1. And due to the synchronous condenser adding it injects a leading reactive power into the circuit. So that leading reactive power will subtract from the lagging reactive power, and the net or resultant reactive power has to be changed. Is so see here, let P1 is the active power of the load, this P1, and cos phi 1 is the power factor of load without any synchronous condenser, and cos phi 2 is the power factor of the load with the synchronous condenser due to the reactive power reduced. And PS is the active power taken by the synchronous condenser from the supply. So therefore, the rating and the power factor at which the synchronous condenser is operating can be calculated as follows. So reactive power of the load Q1, reactive power of the load Q1 is equal to P1 tan pi 1. This is the generalized formula because of the angle, inclination of the angle is to be considered. The active power of the load Q1 is equal to P1 tan pi 1. When synchronous condenser is connected to the circuit, total load is equal to P is equal to real power, this P1 plus PS. P1 plus PS. And total reactive power Q2 is equal to P tan pi 2. P is the P1 plus PS tan pi 2. Therefore, reactive power supplied by the synchronous condenser Q is equal to, that is the Q1 minus Q2. Otherwise, in other terminology, it is Q1 minus Q or something. So therefore, the reactive power supplied by synchronous condenser Q1 minus Q2 is correct. Is, and from the phasor diagram, rated kVA of synchronous condenser PAS is equal to square root of PS square plus QR square, and power factor of the synchronous condenser cos phi 2 is equal to, it is the power factor of exclusive synchronous condenser, cos phi 2 is equal to real power by apparent power of the synchronous condenser. Yes. So in this way, the power factor is to be improved in the synchronous condensers. So what are the advantages of synchronous condensers? See, synchronous condenser has inherently a sinusoidal waveform and the harmonic voltage does not exist. So this is the one of the advantage. So synchronous condenser act as a synchronous motor act as a synchronous condenser. It has almost sinusoidal waveform along with the supply, and the harmonic voltage does not exist. And similarly, it can supply as well as absorb kVAR. Suppose if system is having excessive reactive power, it can absorb, and reactive power is required, it can inject. And the power factor can be varied smoothly. Why? Because the system is a rotating system. It is not a stepwise variation. It is smoothly varying, so that the reactive power either observing or injecting, both will smoothly vary down. And it allows the overloading for short periods. So sometimes due to faults arises, there may be some excessive voltages are possible in the system. So therefore, synchronous motor has an ability to observe the excessive overloads during the short periods. So the high inertia of the synchronous condenser reduces the effect of sudden changes in the system load and improves the stability of the system. The high inertia of the synchronous condenser reduces the effect of sudden changes in the system load and improves the stability of the system. And it reduces the switching surges due to sudden connection or disconnection of the lines. So you see there are so many possibilities are there. It improves the performance of the system. So therefore, synchronous condenser is preferable and economical when the kVAR requirement is more than 10,000 kVAR is required. Yes? So similarly, the disadvantages of synchronous condensers are analyzed. So here, what are the disadvantages in the sense? Power losses increases because of the rotate. It is a motor, and that too it is a rotating, and uneconomical for the small rating. Uneconomical for the small rating. And next, the cost of maintenance is high because it is a synchronous motor, and having a number of rotating parts and bearings, greasing, everything. The maintenance is too high, and it produces noise. Static capacitors, once you are connected, it does not give any noise. But in a synchronous motor point of view, you are observing, it produces noise. And it is not possible to add or take away the units to alter the rating of synchronous condenser. Unlike the static capacitor has a facility to add or remove the number of units. But whereas in case of the synchronous condensers point of view, there is no possibility to add or remove the condenser rating because it is a fixed rating of the motor. So whatever may be the rating of the motor, based upon that, the kVAR requirement either injected or observing is to be possible. Apart from that, there is no possible to add or take away the kVAR units. Yes, and the third one is the phase advancers. So phase advancers is the third kind of technique to improve the power factor. So far we discussed about the static capacitors, synchronous condensers, and the third one is the phase advancers. So phase advancers exclusively designed for the individual machine power factor improvement. Phase advancers are a special type of system, and this is designed not for increasing the power factor of a power system. It is exclusively designed for improving the power factor of a induction motor. How it is in the sense, the induction motor during the rotation, it will produce the leading current in opposite to the lagging current. Yes. So there are special commutator machines. Phase advancers are what? These are a special commutator machines which are used to improve the power factor of the induction motor. Yes, there are special commutator machines which are used to improve the power factor of the induction motor. When the supply is given to the stator of an induction motor, it takes a lagging current. Therefore, the induction motor has low lagging power factor. For compensating this lagging current, a phase advancer is a special commutator machine which is mounted on the same shaft. It supplies MMF to the rotor circuit as a slip frequency, so that it neutralizes the lagging component of the current and improves the power factor of the individual induction motor. So therefore, phase advancers, static capacitors, or synchronous condensers, these three are the more familiar kind of techniques to enhance the power factor of the system. Otherwise, this is also known as the methods of improving the power factor. So the methods of power factor improvement is to be over. So we will discuss the next topic in the next class. Thank you.